Hey guys, it's me, Crystal. Welcome back to my channel. If you have not already done so, please like and subscribe. So today what I'm going to be talking about, just briefly, is something that's very important that affects everybody in business and just as a person. And that is when we come to obstacles in our life. So I like to always think about it this way. So whenever you have an obstacle in your life, I always mention there's 3 ways that you can approach the obstacles. One is you can avoid it, right? That's typically like maybe you get a speeding ticket, or maybe you don't pay your tax bill, you're avoiding it. The other one is that you delegate that. And I'll touch briefly more about how we decide if we're going to delegate the obstacle or if we're going to do it ourselves. And the other one is that you're going to go through it. So the first one is avoiding. So as you know, obstacles in our life brings challenges. It's something that we don't want to go through. We don't wake up in the morning and we want to face difficulties. No, we all want to have a great day. We want to get up and just have a stressful-free day, right? So when we have things arriving in our lives and we have things that we didn't take care of and we avoid it, thinking like, okay, out of sight, out of mind, but really you're going to just create more stress for yourself. So when there's an obstacle in front of you, I don't advise to avoid, okay? And the second thing is delegating. So as a business owner, entrepreneur, having my clients and just me as a regular mom, is that there are some things that you can delegate. But when it comes to business, I advise my clients that they shouldn't really delegate something to their team members if themselves haven't gone through it. So for example, in hospitality, I typically, when there's a situation that's new or it hasn't been dealt with before, that's something you're not going to delegate, right? Because you as the owner, you want to know how are you going to handle that and what's the best way of doing that, right? With all your expertise, you might have resources, you might have phone numbers, you might have past experiences. They help you make a better decision. But if you're handling it to maybe a team member who's probably not trained, they're new, they might not have the skills, it can cause havoc on the team member and maybe the customer, right? And another point is too, like I've known a lot of business owners who invest in businesses and they really don't want nothing to do with the business. They just want to be an investor. Well, the thing is, if you have someone in that business to do everything for you and they leave one day, guess what? All the information that they learned, all the contacts, all the strategies, everything that they learned in the business managing for you, it's going to go with them and you're back to square one. So that's why I don't advise when you're in business, if you're starting a new business, right? You don't want to be delegating the tasks first if you haven't dealt with them yourself, right? Because you want to build that foundation within you so that you can delegate that to someone else. For example, if in the hotel, if the key is not working in the key door and you have the ones that you go up and down on, I mean, there's ways to figure out steps, how to figure out what the problem is, right? So you as the manager, the owner, you don't have to go over there and figure it out and code it and check the keys and make sure you have the batteries, depending on what model you have. You can delegate that because you already know that. So you already give them all the information, the contacts, the method, how to do that, troubleshoot it. You delegate them and then they report to you, right? So you just took off a load from you and you created more time for yourself. So then we talk about time management, right? So it's not, when you have obstacles, do not delegate if you have not done them yourself, okay? And I went over that and the reasons why. And the other one is to go through them, right? So when we have obstacles, the only thing we can do is just go through them, because if we're always comfortable, we'll never have growth. So in order to face bigger obstacles, you have to learn to overcome the obstacle that you're at so you can have growth, right? So that's why whenever there's an obstacle, I always advise my clients and my team members, like, think of it in 3 ways. You can avoid it, which we understand. You don't want to avoid obstacles. It's never going to go away. Out of sight, out of mind. It's just going to create more problems, especially if it comes to bills, collectors, banks, things like that. You don't want to avoid that, okay? Especially if you're a business person. And if you're not a business person and you want to get into business, like, you have to start establishing that foundation of accountability within yourself, right? Discipline. So you need to not avoid obstacles. The next thing is to delegate. You only want to delegate if you already done this and it's safe to delegate to someone else, okay? And the third is to face it. So I always say, face your obstacles no matter what you go through. Sometimes you might not know what to do, but that's why I always mention to have a team of supportive individuals that have the same mindset like you, right? You want to be around, you want to ask people that have been in your industry, you want to ask your friends that are in the same business, hey, I'm going through this, how did you handle it? Who did you call? And sometimes they might have a contact for you. So that's why it's so important. I talk about that in my material, that to surround yourself with like-minded individuals, right? So that you can be successful in your business. Well, I hope that helped, guys, regarding facing your obstacles. And there's 3 ways to look at that. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.